Episode 5A. If you keep comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel, you are going to feel behind even when you are growing. Because comparison does not just make you want what someone else has, it can make you forget what you were building. Welcome to Mentoring Myself, real guidance for finding peace, purpose, stability, and success. These are the lessons I wish I had when I was in your shoes. I'm Ali Christos. Today we are talking about comparison, social media, feeling behind, and how to come back to your own path. Because if you are in your 20s or early 30s, comparison is not occasional anymore. It is not something that happens once in a while. It can happen every time you open your phone. You see someone traveling, someone getting engaged, someone buying a home, someone launching a business, someone looking confident, someone getting in shape, someone making more money, someone getting attention, someone posting the version of life you secretly wish you had. And even if you were feeling okay before, suddenly something shifts. Your life feels smaller, your progress feels slower, your body feels not enough. Your work feels not enough. Your relationship status feels not enough. Your bank account feels not enough. Your whole life starts feeling like it is being graded against people who may not even know you exist. And that is exhausting, because the moment you enter comparison, you usually stop living in your own life. You start living in someone else's measurement system. And that is where a lot of people lose themselves. They stop asking, what do I actually want? And they start asking, why do they have that and I do not? They stop asking, what is the next honest step for me? And they start asking, how do I catch up? They stop asking, what kind of life feels true? And they start asking, what kind of life will make me look successful? That is a dangerous trade, because comparison can make you abandon your own path while thinking you are improving your life. I want to say this clearly, not every comparison is bad. Sometimes seeing someone else do something can expand your sense of possibility. It can show you what is available. It can inspire you. It can help you realize, maybe I can build something too. That kind of comparison can be useful, but there is another kind of comparison, the kind that makes you shrink, the kind that makes you feel late, the kind that makes you resent your own life, the kind that turns someone else's success into evidence that you are failing. That is the comparison we need to talk about. Because you cannot build a peaceful life while constantly measuring yourself against edited versions of other people's lives. And that word matters. Edited. You are not usually comparing yourself to someone's whole life. You are comparing yourself to what they chose to show. The photo, the announcement, the win, the body angle, the relationship moment, the vacation clip, the new apartment, the business result, the highlight. You do not see the anxiety before the photo. You do not see the family pressure behind the achievement. You do not see the money stress behind the trip. You do not see the loneliness behind the confidence. You do not see the arguments behind the relationship post. You do not see the doubt behind the business launch. You do not see the quiet nights when they also wondered if they were enough. So when you compare your full inner life to their edited outer life, of course you lose. It was never a fair comparison. And I have had to learn this too. There have been seasons where I looked at other people and thought they were ahead, more focused, more successful, more established, more certain. And when I was in that mindset, I could feel my own path start to lose meaning. not because my path was wrong, but because I was paying more attention to their timeline than my own direction. And that is what comparison does. It steals attention. And attention is one of the most valuable things you have. Where your attention goes, your life starts to follow. If your attention is constantly on what everyone else is building, you may not have enough energy left to build what is yours. If your attention is constantly on what everyone else has, you may stop appreciating what life is trying to develop in you. If your attention is constantly on who seems ahead, you may miss the ways you are quietly becoming stronger, clearer, wiser, and more honest. Comparison does not just steal joy, it steals presence. It takes you out of your own life. So the question is not only, how do I stop comparing? The deeper question is, how do I come back to myself? Because that is the real work, coming back to your values, coming back to your season, coming back to your next step, coming back to your life. So here are 3 practical shifts I would give you. First, name what the comparison is really pointing to. When you compare yourself to someone, do not just shame yourself for comparing. Get curious. What did that person's post bring up in you? Was it money, freedom, love, confidence, recognition, beauty, certainty, belonging, purpose? Sometimes comparison is painful because it points to a desire you have not admitted. Maybe you do not actually want their life. Maybe you want more freedom. Maybe you want more love. Maybe you want to feel chosen. Maybe you want to create something meaningful. Maybe you want to feel proud of yourself. Maybe you want proof that your life is going somewhere. That is important information. So instead of saying, I should not compare, ask, what is this comparison revealing that I care about? That turns comparison into self-knowledge. Second, separate inspiration from self-attack. Ask yourself, does this make me feel expanded or diminished? If seeing someone's life makes you feel inspired, clear, and energized, maybe that is useful. But if it makes you spiral, feel ashamed, or hate where you are, you need boundaries with that input. Mute the account, take a break, curate your feed. Stop volunteering your attention to things that repeatedly make you abandon yourself. That is not jealousy, that is self-respect. You are allowed to protect your mental space. You are allowed to say, this is not helping me become who I want to become. Third, return to your actual assignment. This is the big one. Every season of your life has an assignment. Maybe your assignment right now is to build discipline. Maybe it is to heal. Maybe it is to save money. Maybe it is to find community. Maybe it is to develop a skill. Maybe it is to leave a situation that keeps draining you. Maybe it is to become honest about what you want. Maybe it is to stop performing. Maybe it is to begin. Your assignment may not look like someone else's achievement, but it may be exactly what your life needs. So when you feel yourself comparing, ask, what is my assignment right now? Not their assignment, not their timeline, mine. That question brings your energy back because your path needs your attention more than their timeline. That is the mentor moment for today. You do not need to win against someone else's life. You need to become faithful to your own. You do not need to prove that you are ahead. You need to build something honest. You do not need to hate someone else's success. You need to stop using their success as a weapon against yourself. Someone else's timeline is not evidence that you are late. Someone else's beauty is not evidence that you are not enough. Someone else's relationship is not evidence that you are unlovable. Someone else's money is not evidence that you are failing. Someone else's clarity is not evidence that you are lost forever. Their life is their life. Your life is asking for your attention. Come back. Here's your reflection question. What would you be building right now if you were not watching what everyone else was building? Sit with that. Not what would impress people, not what would make you look caught up. What would you actually build if your attention came home? And if this episode helped you, send it to someone who feels behind because of what they see online. They may not need to catch up. They may need to come back to themselves. This is Mentoring Myself, and I'll see you in the next episode.